welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. And I have a tarot deck laid out here. This is actually a pouch a friend of mine made when they thought they were going to start doing pouches. And it's red and black. It's got skulls on it. It's very 80s to me. And so I put a tarot deck in it, and I actually went through and trimmed this deck today, because I was so upset. So, if you've been watching my channel, you know I got the Pulp Tarot recently. It's not in here, it's in the bag now, because it's trimmed down. So, I got this deck, and it had huge white borders on it. The book even fits in that pouch. I took the borders off, and I edged it in red and black. I don't understand. It's more of a tarot in a 10 size now, and still has a nice book. I absolutely love this deck, because it's smart, and I'm shuffling it for you guys. I love the shuffle. I mean, it shuffled before better. I can still shuffle it like this, whatever. Like that is how I normally shuffle it. It came with a bow. The cardstock is cheaply made. I didn't care for it. This is the back. It actually says Pulp Tarot. But now it's like the cards can breathe. There's still a bow. But I wanted to show you guys the deck after the huge white borders have been taken off. And as I was trimming this deck today, I told my husband, I said, why do creators do that? And I don't know if it's because it's a mass market deck, but I don't know if it's the creator or the publishing company that does it. Why in the hell have this magnificent artwork that I just love in this deck? Look at that tower. It's awesome. And then slap huge white borders around it. I don't get it. And for that main reason is why I mostly trim decks, is if it's got huge white borders. Now, I will say, in the trimming of this deck, it was a nightmare, because I found it was off-center. If you notice, some of the, that one looks okay. The Justice looks okay. Todd Alcott is the creator of this deck. His initials are in the corner of all the decks, but some of them are marked off on this because the images were not centered. Here I cut the D on when I did the corner rounding, and I did a medium-sized corner rounder. I think they look fantastic now. There was just, the swords are smaller than everything else, because the swords were mainly what was off-center. I had to cut a bit more off the swords to compensate for the rest of the cards. Quite a few of the swords. But I love this antique look here. You think this is something I did? No, it's part of the card. It has this old antique-y look to it. Like here. It's stunning. I love this Wheel of Fortune. It's beautiful. It's got a crease here like it's been a folded piece of paper. I freaking love this deck. I had a great time with it this past week. I just realized I needed to take the borders off because it was just pissing me off. I love the images in this deck so hard. I'm really digging the Judgment card wherever I think I just saw it. I love this Queen of Wands. Maybe I didn't see it. Love this Chariot. Love this Death card. There's the Judgment. I love that Judgment card. And look how it looks all scuffed and old. I love it. I love it to pieces. Now, I will say, I have the Zombie Tarot, which I have semi-paired them together, and they work fabulous together. The problem is, I realized as I'm working with this deck all last week, by itself, was in the Zombie Tarot, the white borders are the same size, the white borders. It's exactly the same. However, the cardstock is different. This cardstock is junk. It's thick, but, and you can shuffle it, but if you bend it too far, it will stay bent. Whereas the Zombie Tarot doesn't do that. And the white borders around it aren't stark white like this white. They're like an off-white color, or a creamy 50s, like they're old, kind of dingy look to them, which helps with the 50s theme of the deck. And I love it. I adore this deck, and I adore it even more now that it's a more Tarot to 10 size, and it's just the images. I did have to cut, like here, to keep them even. I had to cut some of the wording off because the images were off, because I think it was more of a rushed job to get the deck out. I don't know. Anyway, it's the first time I've ever went on kind of like a rant. Because I'm pissed. Why do we have this beautiful artwork on decks and then slap huge white borders around them? Why? I don't get it. The deck was perfectly fine without a huge white border. Anyway. This is how it looks now. It does not fit in the box. I love the box because it looks like a book. But I've been wanting to put it in this bag, and now that it's more of a pocket size, it fits perfect in the bag. So, I've been using this deck this past week. Today is July 28, 2024. And I've pulled a deck out that I had to have. I went to great lengths to have this Oracle deck. And I never use it. And I decided to pair it with Pulp Tarot this week, and it was fantastic together. These are the backs. It's an RWS deck, and if I find the link on Etsy, I will, here it is. It's the Moonlight Oracle 52 card deck using Pixie's famous tarot images. It comes with a piece of paper. I don't know if this is out of print. What you could do is buy the images on Etsy, and then they would send you the PDF for download, and then I went on Make Playing Cards and added them. And because I couldn't figure out how to do it, Brent, his name is Brent, I think? Brent from the Tarot community, and I'll post his link below if I can remember. This was like 3 years ago. He was like, oh, I see you bought it, and I showed him my receipt for it, and he just did it for me and did the copy. But this deck is it was an Etsy deck on Etsy that you could just buy the images and then it sends it to you. I first saw this on Simon from the Hermit's Cave channel, and it's just iconic images from the traditional RWS with keywords. And I had to have it when I got it, and then I never used it. And I'm like, what am I going to use this for? Because I don't usually use their traditional RWS either. And then I bought the Pulp Tarot, and I'm like, nothing goes with this deck. And something told me to pull this deck out. And this cardstock is fabulous because it's Make Playing Cards. They shuffle fabulous. I think it's like, did it say 52? Yeah, 52 card, Oracle card. But I pulled this out, and I'm like, oh my god, they pair fabulous together. So let's look here. And I don't mind the white border on here. It's not that intrusive. They were even bigger on the Pulp Tarot. I mean, they were huge. And I'm like, why? So I don't mind it. I was wondering, I'm showing this to you guys right now. We got 8 of Wands and curtain. Because I was like, part of why I didn't already trim this is because I wondered how it would go together with this one trimmed and this one not. Because I'm not trimming this. Because this is kind of basically an indie deck. And I don't know if I'll ever find it again. So, the Ace of Pentacles and protection. The 7 of Swords and confusion. I like that. 8 of Swords and balance. That's a good one. The 7 of Cups and transformation. And we have the star right behind it. The Tower and intuition. Wow. And the 2 of Pentacles and freedom. The Sun and rainbow. What? They go hand in hand, right? 8 of Cups and progress. I find I use this as a mediumship reading all week, this past week, and the Hierophant and miracle. Wow. Page of Cups and secrets. Interesting. But I thought these went brilliantly together, and as you can see, Ace of Swords and sunrise, beautiful. 10 of Cups and sunflower. The Hermit and loyalty. I love this Hermit. I don't know why. It looks like most of the cards in the Pulp Tarot look like old movie posters, which is why I love the deck. It's fabulous. Look at this Empress with the crease and the damage to the image like it's old. I love it. Luck and the Empress. 5 of Cups and sadness. Oh, wow. Anyway, that was the whole point of me pairing these two decks together. And I just want to show you guys that I've been working with these two together the last week. And if anybody can't figure out if you have either of these decks, they pair very well together, I think, because they speak a very similar language to me. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, what am I going to put in it? Because it's not going to fit the box anymore. And then I realized I had this velvet and silk lined wrap that she gave me. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So now it fits perfectly in that wrap. So I just want to come on here mostly just to show off the decks, the pairing together, show you guys what it was like, let you know that I'm tired of people putting white borders on things that they don't need it. At least don't make it stark white. Like, this is stark white. Because I don't touch indie decks. I don't change them in any way, shape, or form. Because this is an indie deck, I'm not going to trim it. But in a normal circumstances, if this was a mass market deck, it would have already been trimmed. Because it's too much for the stark white. And even these were smaller, which I can handle the smaller one. But they're smaller than this deck was. And I'm like, why are we putting these huge borders on a gorgeous deck? I think this deck is gorgeous. I think it's hard-hitting. I think it's doing all the things you need it to do. Why are you limiting it with a white border? So, that's my video. That's all I wanted to tell. And show off this deck now that it's trimmed. And it's so stunning. And I freaking love it. And now I don't do horror, but there's a horror tarot that they've come out with. I may have to get it. Just because I'm loving the Pulp Tarot so much right now. And now that I've trimmed it, I think this next week, I'm going to use it again. And I usually don't do decks twice in a week. Or 2 weeks in a row. So, and that's how much I love it. But I love the deck. I love how small it is now. Let me know your thoughts on borders. Because, I mean, I can handle some borders. But most I can't. I can't get past the whiteness of the card to see what's beyond it. And it just drives me crazy when people do that. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night. Bye.